Well, this is unfortunate, and this further proves that we, as in black people, if you're classified as black or African American, we are victims of racism, white supremacy. Again, it doesn't matter what your social, economical, and political stature is, you will fall victim to things like this. Where yesterday, Tariq Nasheed fell victim to what's known as swatting, where anybody can call up 911 and say, hey, this man or this person, whatever the case may be, if you're classified as black, you're a black guy. So more than likely, the call went like this. Hey, there's a black guy who has weapons and he has all kinds of bombs and he has people held at his house and he's very dangerous. Go to this resident right now. He is very dangerous. He has a whole bunch of weapons, right? And so that's what it is. Basically, it's basically a malicious intent to get someone killed in the hands of a race soldier, aka law enforcement. That's what it is. So these white supremacists, it's a group, an online gamer group, who are known as ICE. And according to this Reddit post, they confirmed it. It says that ICE fans swatted Tariq Nasheed. All right, so they did a malicious prank call to get him killed by suspected race soldiers in Los Angeles. All right, that plan backfired. Thankfully, Tariq Nasheed was able to not get his family harmed. His whole family was there. His wife and kids were there. And, this was a malicious intent to get this brother killed. And anybody can fall victim to this, including myself, who always talks about the awareness of white supremacy, suggestions of how to resolve and eradicate white supremacy, right? Anybody can fall victim to this. But like I said, this is unfortunate. And, Tariq made some posts. He also did a live stream. I didn't catch that, but he talked about this. Here's some footage here that he recorded.
TV, and he was actually
interviewed by
one of the original KKK members
with the local media there in LA regarding this. And he was actually arrested, I believe, or detained. I'm not exactly sure, but I know he had handcuffs on. There was another shot of him having handcuffs on, but yeah, man, these white supremacists, man, they're posing as online gamers. They're online gamers, right, that are basically white supremacists. That's all they are. So they're posing as an online gamer called ICE. And according to this post on his IG page, these are the people here. Tariq mentioned that the detectives who took the report after the bomb threat on my home asked me if I was familiar with an online group affiliated with the suspected white supremacist ICE Poseidon, aka Paul Danino. His followers are even taking credit for the targeted threat. The police showed up to my home with guns drawn while my 1-year-old son was at home. I'm turning up even harder on these white supremacist groups. And again, this is unfortunate. This is definitely unfortunate, but that's how these troglodyte devils operate. And this is a picture of these dudes. Look how they look, man. They look like Fraggle Rock on heroin. Remember the show Fraggle Rock back in the day? I mean, this dude, that's neither here nor there. I can go and roast this dude, but that's neither here nor there. But speaking of white supremacist groups, will all of these so-called online gamer groups who are basically white supremacists, will they be categorized in this Southern Poverty Law Center hate map? I check out this hate map quite often, to understand what's going on in terms of identifying, these white supremacist organizations. And of course, they're going to have, quote unquote, black identity extremists in this particular hate map as well. But are they going to actually focus on these online gamer groups who are opposing, these white supremacist groups who are opposing as online gamers? Right? There should be a new category here called online gamer white supremacists, because that's what they are. Right? You know, that's the hypocrisy of this damn map. that's complete hypocrisy. But like I said, going back to the swatting incident, it's definitely unfortunate. His whole family was there. You know, thank goodness that, you know, his family was not harmed or anything like that. And reading these posts from Reddit, they're saying that Tariq is going to eat this up and give him more publicity. Well, it should. It should bring awareness to these troglodyte Neanderthal cave-dwelling bastards who actually called the police on him, called the SWAT team on him, and tried to get him killed. It should. And there should be a full investigation on these domestic troglodyte bastard Neanderthal devil terrorists who called the police on him. A full investigation. And as far as I know about people who do swatting, the charge is a misdemeanor, if I'm not mistaken. There's a misdemeanor charge. You know, it's not really a serious offense if you basically prank call. And I don't even consider it a prank call. It's malicious intent to get someone killed. And this is what happened to a man in Kansas here. All right, a man in Kansas was murdered by a suspected race soldier in Kansas because someone swatted him. You know, and this particular article, they're wording it around the caller was identified as a person named Andrew Finch. I'm sorry, the victim was Andrew Finch, but the caller, or whatever the person is who actually called 911 and set him up with the swatting call, they're calling him a prankster. I don't like to use that word. You're not pranking somebody. You're basically trying to get someone killed. It's malicious intent to get someone killed in the hands of so-called law enforcement. That's what it is. And this should be a serious crime, not just a misdemeanor. And this is what happens when you have to get, you know, local, state, and federal, you know, government involved to work on these policies to change them, because this is a serious offense. It should not be a misdemeanor. Right? But again, that's as far as I know regarding when you're doing these type of swatting calls, you get charged with the misdemeanor. As far as what I know, correct me if I'm wrong in the comment section. If there's other charges that you can be, you know, charged with, that's more serious than a misdemeanor. But as far as what I know, But again, like I said, thank goodness that Tariq was, you know, is fine. His family wasn't harmed and stuff like that. And you know, we're just gonna put our necks down on these white supremacists, these online gamer groups who pose as gamers and they're really white supremacists. We're gonna put our foot on their necks and continue to put the pressure on these chameleon-like white supremacist groups that try to get us killed. Because again, this is a war on melanated people. It's been a war ever since the inception of the transatlantic slave trade, all right, for over 500 years. They want to see us completely eradicated from the face of the earth. That's what they want to do. You know, they see how powerful we are, even though we're quote-unquote 13% of the population. We're at the bottom of the totem pole in terms of family wealth, because we're worse off today collectively as a group than we were in the year 2000. They know all of that. They don't care. They see us as a threat regardless. That's why they continue to do this. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, those are my thoughts on that, family. You know, I've been a big supporter of Tariq for many, many years. You know what I'm saying? Continue to support his work. And, you know, he's just a figure in trying to eliminate white supremacy. So am I. If we all work together collectively as a group on the same page, we can ultimately end white supremacy. Right? We just have to be on the same page. Alright, so anyway, those are my thoughts on that, family. Leave your comments down below about this. Let me know what you guys think in terms of, is there any tactics that we need to be aware of to prevent this from happening to our people? Leave your comments down below in the comment section, family. Don't forget to follow me on social media at GMOGMediaTV. Also subscribe to my sports-related YouTube channel called GMOG Sports TV. All right, family, until next time, Chauncey, a.k.a. The Black Separatist, signing out.